Alright, just gonna get into another unboxing and toy review. And this is, I can't read this, sorry. Alloy deformed car. 2 forms, free conversion. It can convert for free, you don't have to pay anything for it. 132 scale, I guess. I'm not too familiar with the scales. I mean, when I look at, like, say, this is from, this is a, what was this from? I was trying to carry on, but this is like, you know, a third-party version of like the Stunticons. This is like breakdown, or they call him, call this one Montana, like Tony Montana from like Scarface. And this to me is about a 1/24 scale, so we'll see how it compares to that. To me, I think this is about 1/24 scale from what I can recall. I used to build a lot of 1/24 scale, but anyways. Alloy model play AE86 plus, and I got this off AliExpress. Saw it, I forget how I came across this. I think I just saw it in one of my feeds or somewhere. I don't think any one particular person, like, and I saw like a video and then got me into it, as far as I'm aware. But it looked pretty cool. I mean, this is, I think, obviously this is a classic Toyota Corolla AE86, you know, very famous for, you know, drifting and really early JDM, like, you know, modding scene. And I think this version potentially, I'm not too familiar on it, but you know, there's a movie, but before that there were like a, I think, comic or animated series and or anime of in the show D. And you know, it's about these drifters or race cars, and I think he has, the main character has one of these cars, and it has like this printing on the side of these characters. It's writing, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, this is still kind of interesting. And the only thing is, there's a couple of sellers on AliExpress as there are that sell these, and it's hard to determine which one. You just look at the one that seems to have a decent rating, but you know, who knows if those legit ratings. But also just to see like what you get, a general sense of feel like, okay, does this look product or the way it's being sold looks legit, and maybe as much information as possible. And it's hard to, because I couldn't, you know, I can't even pronounce it, but there's all sorts of weird wording. And perhaps if I had done some Google Translate before on some of this stuff, it might have showed me some things, because I couldn't tell what the difference was. That I show a picture of this, then I show a picture of this, and then, you know, the cars look the same. Just zoom into here. You know, and this is the one I got, and the prices weren't all that different as far as I could tell, but I was looking at the robots, you know, car mode, and they look identical, and it's like, okay, this one has like a diorama scene. And but I couldn't tell, other than, you know, I could have went with blind faith and just, if I had picked this one, assuming that maybe it came with a diorama, then cool. But I didn't know, and I honestly didn't need it, so I just mainly just going for the car. But in retrospect, I mean, it might have been cool to have this piece. It's free, I think, basically, more or less, and you know, to add that to the scene for displaying purposes. But it is what it is. But you know, if I really wanted to, I guess I could rebuy it, because this thing was not expensive at all. It was like about basically $11 for this thing, and it's basically like, I don't know, some third-party, you know, transformer, like, you know, it's very G1 transformer looking, as you can see here, the way it looks. And it has metal parts, so we'll take a look at this. Alloy bait paint car shell. Okay, well, I guess this is probably die cast. You know, I'm not sure what kind of metal, but most likely, right, that's what they use in toys. It's a cheap die cast metal. But so this is going to be painted with the paint, I guess black or white. I guess black. I think the hood is black, basically. And simulated glass. Okay, so it says here, simulated soft rubber tire. Well, is it actually rubber tire, or is it, how is it simulated, right? Simulated openable door. It's funny that they have to use the word simulated everywhere, almost. Simulated driving seat. it's a driving seat. It doesn't have to be simulated. But these people are funny with their vocabulary in English. But yeah, for 11 bucks, I figure what the heck, I'll give it a try. I think you can maybe get it possibly even cheaper without the packaging, but I was like, oh, I'll take it. I'll see how legit this is, and it's kind of nice actually. It's not bad. It's kind of better than some normal Transformers packaging, as far as I can tell. So we'll crack this open and see what we got. Hopefully it's decent and not too crappy. And I like this. Comes from, as far as I know, no particular series of like some kind of existing franchise or anything. It's just they made something that looked kind of cool. There we go. But I'll say, maybe I'll save this for later. I'll end up throwing it in later, but I'll say that some of this looks a little bit derivative. Obviously, it's very transformery. And then I'm looking at like this gun. It's kind of, does this look familiar? It's rather, it's kind of a lot of things going on here. It's got like a magazine clip, but it's very, don't you think it looks like very Optimus Prime-like? Because Optimus Prime tends to have this thing that kind of drops on the bottom. It's not like a magazine. It's more like, I think it looks more like a tube or something. If I remember, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it does or doesn't. I'm not sure, but it definitely has like this back piece that's similar to this. And the cannon is much more. The rest of the barrel is much more simpler on Optimus Prime. But it kind of has that feel. And I'll say, in some ways, this may seem a tad oversized for the robot. But let's see. He does not appear to be tied in anywhere, except for the feet. Clear that. Maybe I should go grab my scissors and just cut these darn things off. Hang on. Okay, I got the trim that. And take that off. Press that there, and there's nothing much to it. And oh my god, hang on a second. There are instructions for this thing, right? Oh, that's funny. You know what? I don't, unless I missed it. I don't think there's instructions for this thing. I thought there was something on the bottom of the box, but it's nothing. It's just a flap. And okay, so we're just gonna have to wing this here. Interesting. I trust this is not particularly complicated. And I wonder what the point was of just wrapping the front of this. Zoom up a little bit closer if I can. And let's unpeel this. Hopefully it's not going to leave any residue. Did it actually do its job to protect the paintwork? I can tell this it's a bit crude in some ways, the mold, like the edging here. You see that? It's not exactly the smoothest transition right up there, I have to say. And I wonder how you're supposed to, oh, you just pull these open? Oh, they both open up at the same time. Cool. These could be used with a little bit like of silver or something in the background to just brighten them up. They're a bit dark, but nonetheless, kind of cool. And yeah, they didn't leave much information on how to do this. So let me see. I'm feeling this out. I want to say, I mean, it does feel kind of cold. Doesn't sound really much like plastic, but that's definitely, the hood should be die-cast. And not much else. I think mainly this part. I mean, OG1 Transformers were like that too, only like select parts. Mainly like, say, I'm thinking of Blue Streak or Silver Streak. Is it Blue Streak? Yeah, Blue Streak. For instance, that was like my first one. And it kind of transforms similarly. You know, the main front hood is right here in the chest area, and then part of the rear tires and stuff form the bottom of the legs. And I guess this will just, I believe from what I've seen, you just kind of leave this as a bit of kibble in the back, which is, it's all right, but obviously he's not going to be able to sit down. But I think I would just be posing him mostly standing. And I want, but he's got ball joints here, and the feet can pivot and bend, as you can see. Let me zoom back out a little bit. And just a little bit of wrist action here that can pivot a bit. Hands kind of open. Elbow joint, very standard, not double. So it's, you can get at least a 90-degree bend. And let's see, the head actually moves. I thought maybe it was stuck to this, but it's separate. And you can see too, does he look familiar too? He's a bit, also very Optimus Prime-y in its appearance, but that's okay. I mean, it's not completely like, you know, Optimus. And I want to figure out, I think, let me see, we're going to have to go with the box art to get some information of how to at least pose them. I don't know, I might have to look it up online to see if there's instruction, like a PDF maybe somewhere possibly for this. Seems like it's sturdy enough. Well, depends on how you weight them. I can see these may not, potentially may get kind of loose and may not give enough tension. It'll start like, you know, sliding around like he's got like weak ankles or something. But it looks like he's got his arms up, and I believe like these should kind of fold out like wings. And so, let's see, how is that possible? Just fold them out like that. And then he's kind of have this, but then let's see, okay, you can shift it over like that. It can rotate around, so then you can form that up. I wonder, this chest piece doesn't, well, is there a magnet here? No, it just feels like, there's just some part of just slightly kind of feels like it snaps in slightly, not super tight. Now, how are we going to get the arms, like the shoulders in the right spot? I guess you can bring it down like this. This is what I'd probably do, although, yeah, that looks a little bit better. It fills up the gap in the shoulders, because otherwise, you know, the way he was posed before, like this, seems a little bit, I don't know. I don't like the way that looks. It looks kind of open and unfinished, even though technically the pivot for his shoulders should be up here, right? Something like that, right? Shouldn't be too, like if I pushed it down the way it was, but then this looks goofy here too, because it's like so high up, right? So I would, and I like the way this is like angled in like this, so I'm thinking his arm is like this a bit, and then this really has to go down slightly, I think, to make it look kind of semi-decent. That. And again, since there's no instructions, and I'm just gathering from what I can see back here, this is about as far up as you can collapse this. And a sense of the interior, you got a seat. I already can tell, like, these aren't really in proportion too well. You can see how small the seats are in here compared to, you see how big that steering wheel is? It's like he's driving a bus. Well, let's see. Well, I'm not gonna dock it too much. We'll see once I can transform this into a car mode. But yeah, I mean, I basically, there's some limited, you just have to play around with it to find the best position for the arms. this seems like, okay, if he's just like standing like that, that would be kind of okay, I think. But I do think it should be ever so slightly up higher. This feels like, I know that this is basically the shoulder area, so that should be up a little bit higher, I think. But this seems just too high, right? And then I don't want to. I want to keep the wings kind of out like that, though. So you have to pose it like this. Otherwise, it's got to be kind of down. So, and I don't think, I can go in anymore. So I maybe should have looked to see. This is the first time I've unboxed this, so if I had the foresight to just unbox it first and see if there's instructions online, or at least maybe somebody's done a review or video of this, then maybe, I'd have a better idea what to do with some of these parts. But I guess you could do something in between. Like, that's probably what the best thing I can think of doing. Like, this feels like it should be up here. Whoops. Gotta hold on to that while you maneuver this. And then maybe just whatever you need to do to adjust this so that this isn't like popping forward or up higher than it needs to. And I would, again, probably angle it. I wouldn't do it at a 90, almost like 90 degrees. I'd probably just angle it back slightly. That would probably look better. And just pose him up wide. Does he have, he doesn't have a waist. Oh, he does. He does have a turning waist. Though with all the stuff back here, you gotta be careful. I don't think you can do too much. Depends on also where the legs are, because this gets pretty close right here, as you can see. And you can imagine swinging to the other side. Probably do the same thing. Let's see, just since I got them in robot mode, how does this hold in hand? Sometimes they make them and they don't really fit. It goes in okay. What do you think? I guess the size of the rifle is okay. At first I thought it was a little bit long or big, but that's okay. There are some other Transformers that do have ridiculously long guns. Like, I'm thinking Astro Train, he has this really long barrel for his rifle. So let me see if I can figure out how to change him. If anything, I imagine he pretty much transforms basically like Blue Streak or Prowl or Jazz, old school. So with that in mind, what do we do here? Let me give you a wider angle so you can see. These pop open. I'm guessing this collapses. Let's see. Do these stick together? And let's see. I wonder, the feet have to probably. It's supposed to be the back seat. I'm just checking to see if anything else somehow pops open, but I don't think so. It's not that complicated, this build. So I'm pretty sure this goes together, and then more than likely these feet gonna have to maybe turn around and do they get folded? No, they can't get folded in, because I'm looking at this. It just stops here. Maybe if anything, it might go this way. Do they form like the back seat? Well, let's see. Well, I can't move them flip them forward, because these things are going to hit the back of the legs. Maybe they need to be separate first, and then you fold them in. I think these seats have to at least stay up here somehow. Maybe they'll go up like that. See if my years of Transformers experience will save me here. Okay, that seems to be doing something. Closing it up. right? And close that. I'm just guessing where these feet would go. I can't imagine where else they would have space to put the feet. And probably this will collapse over it, like so. Let's see here. This should flip open and probably the head, yep, pops down. Should go into there. This is plastic, I can feel that. And he goes in here. Hopefully this chest piece thing is not going to be an issue. Then let's see, you got to probably collapse these closer to the body. And then, oh, I'm pretty sure the arms probably fit down the side here. So let's see, what do we do here? Maybe we got to rotate these arms down. I don't suppose it matters. They don't fold. Nope, they don't really. There's like this line here. I don't think it does anything. I'm guessing that it just probably collapses in like so. And then you pop this open. Let's see, how did I separate this again? Okay, there, goes out like that. So at least this has to go to the side and make sure this body panel and door rotates to the right direction. And then you just kind of, I guess, collapse it in like so. Come on, it was in a moment ago. I'm gonna straighten this out. And you just start to I think I'm almost there. Oh. Just need to figure out how to get this to go collapse in more here. Something's holding it back. It's not the arms, is it? I mean, this side is basically in where it's supposed to be. You just keep pressing things together until it just force fits together. Okay, I think I'm getting there. And okay, that goes down. You know, like some of these modern transformers, you just end up ending to just kind of press fit things until it just kind of finds its way into where it's supposed to be. But this part keeps popping up. I feel like what's keeping this down? Let's see, how does the car motor look like? Does it look like that, more or less? I guess so. I mean, it's got to be something like this. Well, you know, for 11 bucks we expect. Now this is slightly off. It's not like perfectly straight print. Well, directly from behind it's okay, but this side's okay, but this side's a little bit off. Got a license plate. Oh, clear tail lights. Just keep mashing things together. Eventually they should hold and fit more or less the way it's supposed to. Just like that. I need a tabletop, you know, but I think I got it. Sorry, off camera here. Let me aim this down slightly and zoom in. And there we go. So it's basically what it is on the bottom, I suppose. I mean, I can't expect there to be much more in the front. You got fog lights in front. It's pretty cool. The lights are relatively easy to pop open. You don't need like special tools or, you know, some funny way to, you know, get in there and to specifically manipulate the headlights open. But yeah, I just kind of pushed it on the ground and just kind of saw where there's gaps that maybe weren't fitting perfectly, and just kept compressing it in all around, and eventually it kind of holds a pretty decent shape. And there you go. What do you think? I think it's pretty cool. I think there's a bit of a gap in the front. You know, personally I would like it lowered, slammed down more, but let me get this camera down a little bit lower angle, maybe so that you can kind of see it from, oops, let's widen this angle out a bit. That's too far out. Something like there. Let's kind of see what's rolling. It does roll on the simulated rubber tires, which they are rubber. They're not really, I don't know what they mean by simulated, but they are rubber. A little paint defect here, but again, for 11 bucks or so, I'm not mad. I mean, this is like very classic, and it's kind of crappy finishing along the edges here. You can see right behind the headlights. But I guess if you pop them open, inside seems easier. Maybe it's less noticeable because you're looking at the headlights, but it's nice that they have like the, if you look closely, they have like the ribbing, or the, you know, the, oh, what do you call it, with the lens has that texture on it. So it looks pretty good like that, actually. I think it could be brighter, perhaps like more silvery. I mean, on the picture it makes it look actually a little bit more yellow actually in the headlights. I don't know how you do that. You probably have to pop these off, pop the lenses off and paint them from behind, but I'm not going to bother with that. It's not a big deal. I think, yeah, definitely you can look inside, see the car seat. It's heck of high up and short. And these doors, simulated door opening. Here we go. And you can see, maybe you see how what the seats are. This is actually pretty much, I think this is the same group that makes, there's like this one that does like a Mercedes G-Wagon, you know, the really nice boxy baller, you know, SUV. And it's a nice one actually, and it's not that much more than this. I think it's about pretty close to, you know, maybe it's 20 bucks, but with shipping it was about $20, $24. I think the shipping actually costs slightly more than the car itself, but still I think for that cost, you know, overall cost about $24. I'm not mad at it. It's like, you know, what can you, with the new modern transformers that you can get that are all plastic, be that much better, because it do cost, you know, I think this class of vehicle and robot, and you know, for something like this from Hasbro, it's going to at least cost, what are they right now? They run about $28-$30 at least, depending on what class they are under. They don't have any metal, and yeah, I mean, it's not the smoothest roll, but I don't know if there's any way to fix that. Not a big deal. This is basically going to be on display, probably in robot mode, but I was saying the G-Wagon, they have one in black and I think either in white or probably likely silver, and it looks nice, and it's like got a B. Well, they can't do some Mercedes branding, but there's like a B in the grill, and I think somewhere else, and I think that's the same B that the aftermarket company Brabus does. You know, they do fix up Mercedes, and that's like a G-Wagon that's been fixed up by Brabus. It looks pretty cool. I was going to get that, but then I was like, do I want it? The thing that bothered me was that I think in the rear they have seats that are like this in the back of that G-Wagon. But, you know, whatever. If you can just kind of not focus on that and just look at mostly the exterior, you know. Do have the wheels a little high, of course, but at least they try to do some interior. But you know, I think overall this is pretty cool. Just put a little Autobot sticker, right? He should be an Autobot. He's got blue eyes. He's a car. I think this is pretty cool actually, for about 11 or all in $24. I think it's worth picking up. Yeah, again, there's not such a big difference in price. Maybe you get the version that has the miniature, like the diorama that you can pose it within, which probably should have done, but you know, honestly, I'm limited in space currently, so just having this in vehicle mode is good enough. or you know, robot mode rather. It's going to be posed up later. So yeah, I recommend it. So I'm not going to bother transforming back to robot mode. You saw him. Well, should I just do it real quick? All right, let's see. But not bad. No instructions, and you know, just from prior experience of just you know transformers that are very similar, this works out pretty good. So let's see. I'm guessing you pop this open. What would go out first? You think? The back? You know what? I guess this can open up a bit, and then you pop. I'm guessing you try to get the arms to come out. Maybe also reposition this camera slightly so I can see it better. Oops. Holding now. Adjust this. All right. Okay, just kind of tug at some parts until it come loose. I guess you can fold this up. Let's see. I guess I separate it like this, and then the legs fold out, or let's see. Do these have to open up first? Yeah. Well, yeah, because then they have to clear the legs. What can it do? See, how did I do? Oh, let's get them up all the way so it's right there, and then pull that out. Got interrupted for a second, so let's see, get this out of the way because you fold it. It needs to clear the crotch area, and it won't really be able to do that if it's hanging out there. All right, so let's see, how did I do this? I should just pull out like that, basically, and then straighten out the legs, and then close this in the back. Just fold the feet down. There's nothing to that, and I think that's basically it for the legs. And then the trick is the arms go out this way, so I guess you gotta, because they fold out this way, right? They're hinged like that, so to be able to do that, you probably have to get the arms out somehow, or get this cleared, I think, and then maybe then I can start to trying to figure out what's the best way to get this undone here. Yeah, this has to clear out from the sides here. How did I just kind of force fit them in. Let's see. This has, I think these physically have to be separated out from here first. Yeah, you gotta pull, I believe these should come out, otherwise there's no room for it to kind of start to unfold. You have to kind of give it some space, I believe. There you go, wiggle them out this way. You see that? So just like pull and wiggle, and then they pop out like that. That's what you gotta do. And then I guess I can just pop the head up, so, and it should lock right here, that click. And then this simply clicks more or less there, and then this just collapse the back in such a way that it'll just kind of be as close to the body as possible. And then, let's see, swing the arms down, forward, and maybe get these guys up here. Yeah, I wish this flap wasn't in the back of the head. That's one thing that I noticed after I got it. I said, huh, this piece back here. But because it's not really physically attached, it's just used to cover the hood. But I wish there was a way to kind of move it out of the way, but it's all right. It's black, so it doesn't really stand out too much. And I guess we'll just angle it kind of, I get a slight angle. And I mean, they really got his arms up high up here like this, which I'm not particularly a fan of because, yeah, this just looks kind of like too high up and there's nothing going on in here. You know, and then the wings are so high. I just don't think that's the way it should be. So if I angle the arms down, then the wings are just, you know, they're just going to sit to the side, right? So it's just not really, it's going to overlap the arm. So you're pretty much, oh, actually, let's see. They can actually angle up slightly. See, there's a little pivot in there like this. I don't suppose. No, that's not going to work. I really do think it's going to have to be kind of like this, though. Arm's going to be a little bit down, but at least I'm trying to pose it more or less the way he has it in the picture back there, because it doesn't look too bad. But maybe change the eyes. There's no light piping, is there? No. They make it look like the eyes light up in the photo, but I don't see anything transparent in the background. Nope. And there's no way that I don't see any openings in the head for like light to just kind of pipe down into the eyes, which would have been kind of cool. And where's this gun? Is he left or right-handed? I usually make my robots right-handed for the most part, because I am. I'm right-handed, not a robot. And it's kind of at a wide angle for you guys, so let me see if I can reposition this slightly, so at least it's at a position that looks more normal, as well as zoom in slightly if I can. So yeah, I mean, I think that's the best way to do it. I mean, fortunately, the shoulder, you know, joints or whatever you want to call them in the inside do kind of angle down, but I think overall aesthetically this kind of works better. I'm gonna have to back up, sorry, because and I don't need that wings up that high, to be honest. I'd rather just have them kind of come out like that. I think that'll work just fine like that. And should the lights be open? They have them posed with the lights open on the chest. Just like that. Yeah, it gives a little bit more detail. I don't mind. I'm not sure which way I'm going to do it. And let's see. That's about as much as it can collapse it. So there we go. I mean, it is what it is in the back. I mean, there's only so much you can hide. You know, there's a masterpiece where, you know, they can find a way to make things like super collapse within each other and like almost disappear. But, you know, there isn't any unsightly, yeah, I don't think the arms can like rotate out this way. No, but that's fine. And you can angle that a little bit more like that. But yeah, you gotta admit, there's not a lot of unsightly gaps. Like, okay, maybe in between the legs here, but they kind of added this texture in here that makes it look like almost like, can you see that right here? It looks like hoses inside there. Let me see if I can bump that up more, a bit more, like right there, right? It's kind of neat. It looks like some kind of hose there. It's just, at least it's not just an empty hole. They try to do a little something with it. Make it look like there's some mechanical or bits kind of working from the body down to the legs via some, you know, fluids or something that need to go down there for the hydraulics, I guess. Let's see, focus. There you go. And you know, there's, you look at the arms. There's no real bad. Well, once I've seen worse offenders and more Hasbro, you know, Transformers. Let's say this is actually kind of okay. You know, it's for, again, for, you know, the grand total of $24, but essentially just over a $10 product. Can't go too wrong with this. This is actually kind of cool for what it is. I might go and get that G-Wagon. I saw it reviewed on, what's his name, Tef. I think he's French, because he does videos both in English and in French. French. And he's got some cool stuff. He like reviews, like not just Transformers, but some oddball, like offbeat, like just things that look cool that are transformable, and a lot of different things like that. And that's how I found out about the G-Wagon. But this, I think they just showed it in my feed. So anyways, yeah, it's getting kind of long as my videos do, but you know, this was just kind of this with no instructions. I just kind of played it out and did it the best I could. I think that looks kind of decent, right? Not bad. I am pretty happy with this. There's different ways I can pose it. I'll figure it out. But he looks good. He's not bad at all. You know, he's fairly articulate and easy to transform. You can see, you know, if you've done enough of these, you know, Autobot kind of style of you know, G1 toys, that's how I figured it out. You know, that's more or less transforms the same way. And there you go. So anyways, thanks for watching. Back it up so his feet aren't cropped out. And I guess catch you in the next one. I got a cool one here that's been much more expensive, way a couple $100, but it's something that I really wanted since it was announced, I think mid or late last year, and it finally came out in March this year. It's basically Metal Gear Rex, but it's from Bandai, and maybe this other brand. I don't know if it's a collab or something, but it's you know, we'll get into that when I get to unbox that and have a closer look, because that one's going to be way detailed and super cool. Okay, well, yeah, thanks for hanging in there and watching this. Just, you know, my version of show and tell, I guess. Like what, I don't know, do kids have that these days at school? But that's what we used to do. Just bring whatever you want. You see a lot of us bring our favorite toys and we just show and tell. But don't touch. It's mine. Okay, thanks for watching. Later.